guys, welcome to my show called WNTT, aka We Need to Talk. My name is Marival Bams. I'm a dancer, agent, mother, sister, a black woman, and on my show I'm going to talk about different subjects. I'm going to give you advice. The idea is to empower you, is to exchange with you. I'm going to have different guests on my show, which I'm going to have a conversation with about different subjects that are very close to our hearts. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. Today I'm having a very important guest, which is my friend and sister, the real Leslie, aka Leslie Reflection. She's going to introduce herself. Hello, Leslie.
Hello. So I'm Leslie, also known as The Real Leslie on Instagram, and Leslie Reflections as well as a dancer. And I'm a dancer and a model. I've been doing it for like 10 years or more, and I like to call myself versatile because I've done a bit of everything in terms of styles, and I love what I do.
She's very good at what she does, believe me. If you don't believe me, check out her Instagram, her website. She does everything, literally, from Afrobeat to voguing to tap dance, you name it. So the reason why I invited Leslie, because she's the perfect guest to have to talk about the subject we are going to talk about. Leslie have created a very, very important company that I think she should be applauded for, because it's a very, very good thing to do for the culture. Please tell us about this company you've created.
So I created even a company called Real Candy.
Yes.
Which is actually a female company.
Mm-hmm.
Hey ladies. So it's a female company, but we do have an agency called Real Candy Agency, which is for boys as well. So we haven't left you out. But the company is basically about celebrating black excellence in all shapes and forms. Mm-hmm. And it's about female empowerment as well, and encouraging different shapes and sizes and different art forms, especially in the black community. So that's what Real Candy is about, and that's what I like to push out there.
Okay. And the reason why I said she's the perfect guest is because today we are going to talk about blackness. African culture is all black, everything black today. It's not always going to be like that, but it's kind of going to be the focus and the target in general, because I'm a black woman and I like to talk about what I know, and what I know the best is
and
the black culture,
and who we are,
who I am, who we are, and what I know best. And I know what I know best about black, because I'm black at the black. Anyway. Anyway, so today we're talking about NWE and Chop Daily. So I'm going to ask Leslie what she thinks about these two social medias. Those two social medias are the biggest platform that promote the African culture, the African movement, the Afrobeat movement, and the dancers in general on social medias. If you don't know about them, check them out. And I will tell you what I think about them first, and then she will tell me what's her opinion about them. I think it's a very good platform that we have for us, black people, African people in general, because they actually give opportunities to many dancers out there, and they promote the culture. They, it's good that they actually had that initiative to create that page to show to the world what we are about a bit more. Exactly. And I think it's a very great initiative, so I applaud them for that. Well done, NWE, also called Niggas with Enjoyment.
Yes.
Keep enjoyer, continue de nous enjailler. Et well done, Chop Daily. So tell me what you think about them, please.
I'm really pleased that we have access even to these sort of platforms now, because not long ago there wasn't even Instagram itself, and now it's booming, and we have things like NWE and Chop Daily putting our work, our life, our culture out there to the public, and for people to embrace that and learn and build on, which is great. However, I feel like it's always important to know where you started and why you started. And I feel like sometimes I see on my timeline an NWE video and I'm just like, what's this got to do with the culture? What is this pushing? what is this for? You know? And yeah, I understand that it's a business as well, and you have to get bread, you have to eat. But it's important to be true to your word and make sure you're putting content out there that's gonna aid the future, that's gonna build, right?
Good content. Okay, I do understand there's certain video that's for the birds. There's certain videos that are good to push out there because people are gonna watch. Obviously it's still a business, but if your intention is to promote and push the culture,
then
do it properly.
Yes.
I'm not saying they are not doing it properly. If I have to say something that I don't like about those social medias, is that it's much more about business than anything else. It's because I've seen many talents on social medias and it's turning around the same people that they are posting all the time.
I think it's not even a case of them not posting enough of, people within our culture that are giving great content. It's more to do with the fact that they keep promoting the same lot of people.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
a
rotation.
Yeah. It's more about themselves.
So many more. There's so many more out there.
Do you know that sometimes they repost the same video? They reposted the same video so many times.
But the throwback is only 2 weeks ago, or the throwback is a month ago. That's not a throwback.
If you have something to tell them, talk to them. What would you say?
Like, to be honest, I would say remember where you started, and remember that there's people that out there that are pushing, that are grinding to be given that chance, that are so talented, and then
to be on your page, because actually some people goal is to be on your page.
Yeah, literally.
You give hope to people. Yes.
And they watch your page, they support your page, and they're actually helping you keep going and helping your business. So make sure you're more selective, may I say, maybe, to who you pick.
You're fair. Make sure you are fair to who you are picking.
Yes. Because
to who you pick.
It's for the buzz, but also it's about the talent and it's about the rawness.
And I feel like sometimes they are forgetting themselves, which I understand. I feel
I
like
don't understand that.
I understand that people can forget about themselves.
It's like me saying, I'm forgetting I'm black. That's impossible for me to do. So it's not about forgetting, it's about being ignorant, and it's about getting too caught up in what's going on now. And using that to your advantage, which is again fine. We all need to hustle, but there's a way you can do it where you give back and you still get what you need out of it.
If I have to say something to them, don't forget the reason why you started. Don't forget that it's those same people that made you that big. Don't forget, it's those people that actually make your page your page.
Exactly.
So please respect us. Put some respect on our name. And remember our ancestors, okay? Okay, that's what we're doing.
We're not going to go too deep because we can talk about this all day.
I know it's about business. What about morals? What about value,
What about talent?
Yeah,
Sometimes I see content that's a bit...
I know, we all know about these videos on social media that is good to post and not good to post because people want to see nyash, people want to see a white person doing a guara because it's cute and everything. But anyway, stop that. It's not cute. Anyway, it's not cute. Yeah? I know people will hate me after this. Anyway, let's move on. The other question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think of a non-African person? It could be white, Asian, Indian, that actually into the that is actually into the the African industry, the Afrobeat movement, because it's growing and growing more and more, right? And the reason why I'm asking you that, because I mentioned earlier, them sometime posting a video that is random, it will be a white person that will just be doing a guara or shoki, and because they know it's going to be good for their social media, for their page, then they will post that instead of some people that have been killing themselves, paying videographers, having content and having outfit, doing things great because they were hoping that the video will be posted to be out there. What do you think about those people that is actually in the African industry that are not black or African? I mean, that are not black. Yeah.
I think remember to support your own. As simple as that. Like, I think it's the hands of the people in control. So those people I understand like we were saying earlier, it's
Yeah.
about the buzz. There's
Yeah.
certain videos that even I remember that I can always remember because it was funny or because the person is genuinely talented, but they are not from the black community or they're not from the Caribbean or Africa, for example.
Yeah.
However, it gets to a point where it's too much, where what is it about? Is it about showing our talent through a different race or what? Like, we all need to understand that, you know, yes, you can be appreciating a culture, but it doesn't mean they have to be the face of that culture, and it doesn't mean that
It makes
you have
me
to
want to
follow.
ask you this question. So,
Okay.
for you, what is the difference between appreciation and appropriation? Culture appreciation and culture appropriation. I'll rephrase that. So, what is the difference between culture appropriation and culture appreciation?
Okay.
Or do you believe in culture appreciation?
Yes, I do believe in culture appreciation, and I also believe that there's a lot of culture appropriation going on.
Okay.
And I feel like if you have to ask, this is mainly to the people outside the black and brown community.
Okay.
But for those, if you have to ask yourself, am I really appreciating this, or am I just taking the advantages and the benefits from it? If you see yourself doing something not because of the fact that you love it and the fact that you're passionate for it and the fact that this is what you wake up and want to do naturally, if that's not
This is my son.
that's her son.
Matthias,
If
be
that's
quiet.
if that's
Wow.
if that's not the intention behind why you're doing something, especially if you're doing something out of the ordinary. We don't just wake up and start doing guara guara. We don't just wake up and start doing shoki. Do you know what shoki is? Do you know what country it comes from? Do you care what country it comes from? You know, do you care about the culture? Do you care about the music? You know, a lot of the Black African culture and even the Caribbean culture comes from somewhere. It has a history, it has a background, and that's why it holds value. So when people just come and take and take and take.
So if you have, sorry to cut you, if you have something to say to those people that actually appreciate the culture, if you have something to say to those people that actually appropriate the culture, what would be those things? To the appreciation one and to the appropriation one, what would be those things?
I'll talk about the appropriation one first.
Yeah.
I would just say to you, if you have to question yourself, you're probably doing appropriation anyway. And if you're only doing it for your benefit, you're definitely doing it for appropriation. We are not a coat that you wear. We are not a jacket. I'm wearing a jacket, okay, right now. It's not something you wear, and when it loses style or loses, you know, popularity, you take it off. This is generally people's lives. This is what we grow up with. This is what we listen to.
People's culture.
This is literally our
life.
Our life. So it's disrespectful and inconsiderate to just be careless about it.
Yeah.
So if you're going into someone's culture and you really enjoy that music, take time, you know, find out about it, learn about it properly. Don't just do it for the views. Views don't mean nothing. And often people think that numbers and views is like, you know, is what
just for information, people, your numbers on followers are not the numbers of money you have in your bank account.
Exactly.
Okay, just a reminder.
Literally.
Just a reminder.
There's a lot
for
of broke people with a lot of followers, baby.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are not even on Instagram that are hella
The
rich.
people that have the least followers are usually the people that actually have business. Trust me, they have business. I know
they
some
have
of them.
business and they have talents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I mean, we actually followers is important because nowadays it's a business. It's a business.
But to say that though,
don't think that's what give value to your heart. That's not. It's not giving value to your craft.
Followers does not equal value.
it helps for
right?
your business.
V for V. Followers don't equal value. Forget that. You know, followers is great for your social media, so you can build, so you can have a platform where people have access to you, and then that can create opportunity, jobs, and success, which is great.
Talking about that, I will say to some artists, stop going to people that have followers just because they have followers to promote your music. Please focus on talent and content. You know, people that know what they're talking about, what they're doing. If I had something to say to someone that appropriate the culture, I'll be like, this is not a game. This is real people life. It's an expression of how people feel about something. This is actually therapy for some people.
Yeah.
We live that, we grew up with that. It's very disrespectful for someone to just wake up one day to be like, oh, it's very cute, it's not very popular, let me learn a Gora Gora and Shoki as well. I'm cute, I'm mixed race, I'm light, so people will like me. They know that it's cool for me, it's cool, I have a good profile. It's very disrespectful for some people that actually do it where that care. If you don't care about it, it's good to appreciate. You know, it's good to appreciate the culture.
Yeah,
I really appreciate people that appreciate, because they get to know about the people, they get to know about the culture, they get to know about where the step come from, why this is like that, you know, why, people are so sensitive about this subject, about, people,
I really commend the people who actually genuinely
love the culture and appreciate the culture.
And appreciate the culture.
Yes.
I commend you, because it's very easy not to, for one. And secondly, it's something that is quite diverse and big. It takes time. You actually have to take time to understand everything and be fully involved to then put yourself in there. So I really commend you guys that appreciate it. I just hope that you can teach your fellow friends that may be doing this appropriation what not to do and how to stay away from that if they can. And not just be about being Insta famous or being the girl on top or the girl with the most followers. Like, there's more to life than Instagram, and there's more to life than followers. Literally, like, can you speak to someone? What values do you have? Who are you? What are you? What do you stand for? Who do you stand for?
For me, an example of appropriation. Yeah, like I've seen, I'm not going to say the name. I think that person, she will know who I'm talking about. Yeah, but I'm not going to mention your name because you're not that important. But anyway, someone that actually promotes African culture. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know who
that is. Not from the African culture.
Right.
That looks exactly like a black lady. Okay, that is not a black lady. You can be white, red,
like
yellow. Anyway, there is that girl. Yeah. Anyway. So she did something about African. She got braids. She was dancing on African. She was dancing with on the African song in the dark, and they were doing. It was all about Africa.
Yes.
And they did that for the profit, right?
Oh gosh, I remember this story.
So when I asked her, why are you doing that video for? We just want to show how we appreciate the culture to the world. And I said, don't you have African people in your country to do it? Why would you have to go and find you and your white friends doing an advert about a black culture with braids in the dark with the African music, where the best person to
African clothes
to represent that is actually black people,
Basically, everything African and everything cultured except the person, except the body that's in it.
I'm okay, because the thing is, the reason why I was offended by that is because, like I always say,
it didn't make sense. That's why.
No, this is a wide world we're living in. Okay, it's already very hard for black girls to get some opportunities. So when they have that little time that they could shine, I think it's not fair that it's always the same people that are getting the advantage and the opportunity out of it. That's why I'm actually very upset with those social media that actually just post videos of just Asian or people that are not actually black or African just because it's good for views.
Yeah.
Don't forget your morals. Don't you have values,
I know.
That's typical example of appropriation to me.
Yes.
Appreciation is someone that actually really love the dance, go to classes, and not doing it just for the profit. They just love the people. They get to know about the people, the way, why, how, I don't know. They just get, I don't know. They don't do it just for money. And people will feel like I'm saying that white girls shouldn't dance on a video for advert. I just think that the best person to represent an African culture is a black person. I'm sorry, it's an African woman.
Just to give the story so you understand that well. Basically, this girl is a dancer in the African culture, but she's not African. She's of white descent, of white color, Caucasian.
Yeah,
right?
She's white. Yeah,
and she's literally trained with all these people around the world, and grown. And we've seen her grow, which is great. So it's not like she's someone who's not educated.
She's good though. She's good.
She's good.
I'm not even here to promote her, but she's good. But she doesn't care about the culture. All she cares is about eating. She cares about eating. She just want to eat.
She's educated, so it's not as if she's, stupid and doesn't know that, what I'm doing here is appropriation. And it's not like she hasn't got resources to find someone more appropriate for that advert. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. She has.
Yeah, she said no. In her country, there is no black people that do Afro.
There's black people in every.
There is black people in Paris, baby. If you have money to do an advert, you can pay people a ticket to come and do that. Okay, I know you want to make things. That's why it's actually unfair. People won't have to pay any more black people to do certain things because there is some girls there that want to eat as well that are not black. So they would rather, obviously, you know how it is, to get a white girl to do something that a black girl can do because a white girl always do it better according to them. It is not fair. People will be like, oh, she's Ash, because I'm very talking with my heart right now. I have a company as well myself that I created that is multicultural, that promote tolerance, respect, that actually showcase people that appreciate the African culture, that just appreciate culture in general. The reason why I create that is for us to find a balance about this, because we are not against people to appreciate the culture, but it's not fair when it's always the same people that eat, especially when it's the actually common sense that the people that actually belongs to the culture that should be the one to be upfront to promote the culture. It just does not make sense to me. If it's a concept, I understand. You need a white girl, Asian girl. Sometimes
that makes sense. But in this instance that we're talking about, it wasn't the concept. Scenario. It wasn't the concept was aimed to sell a brand, especially using the African culture and vibe to sell it, right?
And celebrate the African culture.
To celebrate that, right? And it was to do with dark.
And celebrate the talent in the dark, and something like that at night or something like that. And they were having braids. And anyway, I just found it offending. Anyway, so
it was offensive just because she has the resources to find someone more appropriate, and she didn't. She made that choice, even though she's in a place where she has access to give that job or opportunity to someone in the culture. Of
course, I asked her.
And she still didn't do it. And instead, when I asked her and when Marivon asked her, she gave excuses.
She was like, I just want to show people our appreciation for the African dance. Girl, you're lying. You just want to get to eat, okay? I know everyone want to eat, but girl, wasn't right. What
was the other thing she said? She said, that's not what it's about.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Those people that don't...
dancers.
If you don't understand the black people's struggle, if you don't understand how important it is to us, to our art, if you don't understand why we are sensitive about this subject, then you're actually doing African dance and you like it,
then you don't belong.
Then you don't belong to that. Like, you don't understand. You have to understand what's going on around this circle to be able to, before you get in there.
Yeah.
It's
otherwise, just like anything. If you go into something, like a new job, you take time, you train yourself to make yourself appropriate to be given a chance to be taken on for the job. It's the same in this culture. You can't just go in there, skip all the training and suddenly be
able to understand when someone like me come and tell you, understand why I can be offended by that. But anyway, it's not about her. But anyway, that was a perfect. I wanted to give you, for me, an example of appropriation. For me, it was a typical, culture appropriation. And
I don't know what I've done wrong. I'm in a black video, wearing black clothes.
I have friends. Yeah, she was like, no, I just dance in the dark with my braids and my friends to show, the appreciate the love I have for African dance. I'm just dancing on an African song with my friends all in the dark. But when I'm promoting the African culture, but anyway, let's just move on. The I have my friends. I'm talking about African the culture appreciation. They love it so much. They're always in class. Just the idea of listening to the song, the African song, it makes them happy. They always search. They're always looking for to educate themselves, to get to know where is this coming from, to understand the struggle. They ask me questions. I know I don't know that girl particularly, but the way she responded, actually shows how ignorant and how naive and how much she doesn't understand anything. So to people that appreciate the culture, thank you very much for putting respect on our culture. Thank you very much for appreciating us. We appreciate you. And for people that want to appropriate the culture, God sees you. That's all I can say.
God sees you.
God sees that much. You.
And if you don't believe in God, karma also sees you.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. That was a long subject.
That's just real.
Yeah, I was being real. I'm always real. I don't know how to do,
honest women, so...
Okay, now I'm going to talk about Afrobeat, the Afrobeat industry, the Afrobeat movement. Who do you think led the Afrobeat movement, the Afrobeat music?
Who do I think?
Afrobeat. We're not gonna. Okay, what's Afrobeat to you?
That's a big question because that's changing every year or every day.
I know, right?
It's evolving into something that I don't even know what it's going to become in, say, 5 years. We're in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But Afrobeat is a culture and a style of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which goes back years. And it's evolved now to this new school sort of Afrobeat vibe.
Yeah.
That's very commercialized. So it doesn't really sound like the raw Afrobeat from, say, 2010 and before.
I'm listening, yeah.
Now it sounds more commercialized, as I said, and it sounds more pop, almost like Afro pop. And now there's different genres of music that's evolving from Afrobeats. There's Afro pop, there's Afro fusion, there's Afro mix, there's Afro hip hop, and maybe even more that I can't remember. So it's hard for me to even
to reply to that question, isn't it? I think Afrobeat, I've heard about Fela Kuti a lot. That is the king of Afrobeat. Fela Kuti is from Nigeria, for those that don't know, because we have also Manu Dibango, Serge Bona in Cameroon. So I was like, who is this Fela Kuti? Why is people always talking so much about him? So I did my research and I really love what I found out about him. Apparently it was someone that was promoting, or he's been promoting the Afrobeat, the African culture in Europe for a long time.
Right.
He was a politic militant for his people, for his population in Nigeria. He was fighting for the rights. So he was always passing good messages in his music, and he was really about promoting black excellence for a long time and giving a very good example. He wanted to be a very good leader and good example to his population, for his people in Nigeria. I found out that apparently even his mother happened to die almost because of this movement that he was in, because it was the government were not really always happy with whatever he was saying in his music, because people don't like the truth. Anyway, all that to say that Fela Kuti is thought to be the king of Afrobeat, and I agree with that because of what I found out when I did my research. So if you don't know about Fela Kuti, today is not about Fela Kuti. Find out about Fela Kuti. The thing about Afrobeat is that it has a specific sound that when you hear, you know that it's Afrobeat. And I never understood why people said Afrobeat, because most of songs that have an African beat on it is an Afrobeat song, right?
Yeah.
But now I think there is a specific song that people call Afrobeat.
Right.
And usually those songs come from Nigeria and Ghana. like those songs, like, because obviously they're kind of the leaders in the African movement, in the Afrobeat movement. And I think it started in 2004, 2005, this Afrobeat movement. And that's when people start using the word Afrobeat, and then it stays like that. But I don't really think that Afrobeat means anything. But now people are used to using this word Afrobeat. So we're just going to keep it like that. I think everyone are used to using Afrobeat.
I think
so Afrobeat,
it's a good name for what they would describe the change of the music. I think that's what
it's a different movement. I think it's a
time.
movement. Afrobeat is a movement.
It's a movement, yeah.
Because there is different, very different music that I have Afrobeat songs. There is Ndombolo, there is Makossa, there is Sukus, there's Coupe de Calais. There's so many songs that are actually not Afrobeat, but they're Afrobeat in the sense that they're African music.
Yes.
But what people call Afrobeat is a song, it's a specific sound that has, that we tend to listen a lot. Yeah. There is always that sound that when you listen to, that that it's Afrobeat. I think that usually the leaders of those songs are Nigerian and Ghana. And my next question is, that's my opinion. We're gonna go on and on. It's quite long because we have there's so much to say about it. This is long. My question is, who do you think leads Afrobeat? Who are the leaders?
Well, a lot of people. Afrobeats come from African music.
Yeah.
African music is so huge.
Yes.
And there's so much. There's South African music. There's West African. There's East African. Central African.
Yeah.
And within those areas, there's so much styles that relates to Kizomba and Zouk and all these different forms that normally the style that's on top relates to a dance style as well. Which is normally why the movement pushes and the sound pushes, because everything works together almost, right? But I would say from today being in London, people would think or say it would be Nigeria, because they're making a lot of the sound that we know as Afrobeat today. And that popular sound with the African beat, but with the new twist on top of it.
That Afrobeat sound, that sound, sound is that specific.
And it's not the same sound as what Angolan sound would be, for example,
or Congolese sound
would be, because those sounds are very specific, and they've also been around for centuries. They've been around for years.
But I think they've been inspired a little bit by it.
Yes, they've definitely been. Afrobeat is definitely inspired by different genres of African music
in general.
Not one. Different, multiple, right?
Yeah.
So it's not to say that Afrobeat is just one sound, because it comes from many sounds from Africa. However, it's its own genre now. I think it's become its own thing. But I would say Nigeria, and then close by Ghana, I would say.
To be honest, what's funny is that I think Ghana is who started the old. People will say it started with D'banj at the time with Oliver Twist.
I remember when that came out, how popular that was.
I think I think it helped. But who really push it is Fuse. It's Fuse that push it with Azonto. You remember that time with like those all-star videos?
When Fuse first became big.
Ghana was going strong. Yes. But you know what happened is Nigerians don't play games with money. They don't play game with business. So there's so money to be made, and they made that money. So they became, I think I agree with you that they are the leaders of Afrobeat at the moment, because they are very, we're all hard workers, but they are business people. They don't play. So they are leaders. They are definitely the leaders of the Afrobeat movement. So what would you say is the strength Nigerian and their weakness?
Strength wise for what, the music?
Like the strength, how they made it to be the leader, because they are not the one that started, and they still are the leader though. They're actually leading the game. What do you think they are the strengths?
Are very consistent in pushing.
They
are very consistent in pushing out content, pushing out
Yeah.
and creating a hype over something, so enough heads are turned to create an audience for something. You know, and also there's a lot of them. You know, just like any African country, really.
Especially in London. Yeah.
But in London, I think the London scene has really helped push the Afrobeat scene. It's helped
if I may,
lot.
I think everything people are not happy. People are not don't agree with this. Everything started in London, though. It was going on in Lagos as well, but in London is the heart of Afrobeat, I think. Because all those dancers, the dancers been promoting the movement.
Yes.
All those artists been coming here to promote the movement. They've been doing their concert here. So,
They've
we are here.
understood
London
that
is the heart of
dancers,
Afrobeat.
music and sales are in coordination with each other. They work simultaneously with each other. And that's why I feel like London has made a big impact on Afrobeat scene.
Definitely.
And on
definitely.
Nigeria, working with London dancers, or even the London scene of how to look at, you know, these artists and how to promote them. Because before they would use different things, iTunes and stuff are new.
Now they use dancers.
Now they use dancers.
Even though they don't want to pay money for it. That's
another discussion.
I'm just saying.
That's another discussion. So I would say definitely it's the consistency of Nigerians. That's why they normally stay on top when it comes to Afrobeat music.
Okay, so me, I think you want to say their weakness, maybe?
I would say the weakness with Afrobeat music is making sure they don't produce music that's too similar to the last one. Because I feel like to create something with enough substance, it needs to keep fresh. It needs to keep new. And sometimes I listen to songs and I'm like, this sounds like the last song.
I've heard that before.
Same.
It's very difficult.
Isn't this a copy of that song? You know, like, it's like, what's new about this? Like, especially being a dancer, we are very critical of music. Yeah. We are artists in our own right as well.
Yes, we are.
So when we're listening to something, I was like, this sounds, you know, it's annoying sometimes when something sounds too similar. Yeah. Because it doesn't get you excited about choreographing, about dancing on this song. So it's important that they make sure when they're bringing out things, not just bring it out to create money, but also to have substance, to have sauce on there. Yeah.
I think the strength is that they are very united people. They really stick together. I give that to you guys. You guys are very.
With any cost.
You guys are
they'll
very.
Still stick together even if they hate each other.
Yeah, and they have a big ego. So the ego actually what get them there, because they stick together. Even if they don't like each other, they work together because they need to get that money. And obviously, because I think it's the way they were raised as well to stick together. I really respect them for that. And also the weakness are also that they actually very proud, and the ego. I think the strength is their weakness. Because I think for some they are really full of themselves, that they stick to the same thing. They stay around the same people, and they don't get to discover other things. They don't get to be curious about other culture, and thinking they stay in their bubble, you know. So that's, I think, is the weakness. They have to learn to be open-minded about other culture, and it's also a strength, because that's what make them, you know, the leader. But that's what I wanted to say about Nigerian. And I think the reason why they get to be the leader even at these days is because they are very consistent, and they are really hard worker. So I just wanted to say well done to our brothers and sisters Nigerian that are leading the game. Well done to our Ghanaian that are very closely leading the game too. And
beside them. Yes. Just behind, but beside.
And well done to our brothers and sisters, our African people, you know, our brothers and sisters that are working hard out there to push the culture every day. Yeah, I think we talk about pretty much everything we wanted to talk about today.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you very much, Leslie, for coming.
No problem.
Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed these conversations. I'm gonna see you later with another guest for many other conversation. Believe in yourself. Yeah. Do your thing and follow us on social medias. On Facebook, it's WNTT. On Instagram, it's WNTT Show. And on YouTube, it will be WNTT. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Share, post, comment, subscribe, and
Like.
yeah, bless. I think that was it. Sorry, was it long?
I think we were talking for half an hour. I'm not
But
sure.
I think it's gonna cut. I just wanted to talk to be natural.
48 minutes.